This is Dr. Sampson. SCP Foundation. Location number 37. Level 4 clearance. This recording, despite my laryngitis, is being made as the first official recording regarding an N-Class SCP. SCP-1315N. N is a new designation which stands for non-confinement. The N will be given to SCPs that the Foundation cannot forcefully confine. The very first SCP to receive the N designation, although there will be others, is SCP-1315N, also known as the Mother. This SCP appears to be a young woman, 5 feet tall, blonde hair, green eyes, barefoot, wearing a white dress. I say appears to be because it is unknown exactly what type of creature this SCP happens to be. The reason for the N classification is because not only is she able to make herself invisible, but we have confirmation that she is able to teleport instantaneously from one point in the world to another, even thousands upon thousands of miles away. This is why forced confinement is impossible with SCP-1315N. This SCP has been classified as Keter. Despite being known as the Mother, there is potential for this SCP to be dangerous. However, not to children, not to babies, but definitely possible to adults. SCP-1315N typically appears in the extreme early morning hours, often in hospitals which are understaffed, underfunded. She will typically appear at the maternity ward of such hospitals, where she has been known to touch and comfort and hold newborn babies. Her presence does them no harm. SCP-1315N has been spotted numerous times by nurses and doctors. However, when she is seen, these nurses and doctors, for some unknown reason, are not able to physically confront her, even if they may wish to. The mother is very warm, very caring towards the babies, and in many cases, small children whom she holds and comforts. It is unknown what her motivation is, except maybe to hold and comfort children and small babies. SCP-1315N has been known to appear at the bedside in private homes of small children, including babies sleeping in their cribs. Although parents are often startled by this SCP, they again, for some unknown reason, are unable to physically confront her. She will often vanish when seen by an adult, however, not always. The reason for the classification of Keter is because of an incident that took place in Munich, Germany, involving a Dr. Brahm. After, again, materializing in the maternity ward and holding several newborn babies, SCP-1315N was seen leaving the ward and entering one of the doctor's offices. Basically, she walked right through the door. Again, it is her ability to both turn invisible and dematerialize and then rematerialize in different places that make her impossible to forcefully contain. She is able to teleport at will and instantaneously. And she is also apparently able to walk through solid objects without damaging those objects. SCP-1315N apparently confronted Dr. Brahm, but did not speak to him. From the video surveillance, it is clear that Dr. Brahm was terrified of SCP-1315N. She placed a finger on his heart and apparently whispered something to him. A week later, Dr. Brahm had a massive heart attack. He did not survive. It is unclear if SCP-1315N caused the heart attack. It was, however, later discovered that Dr. Brahm had been abusing some of the older children in the hospital. It is possible that the mother somehow found out and gently confronted him. It is also possible that due to his age, Dr. Brahm's heart attack was not her doing. However, it seems unlikely, as there have been other incidents of adults visited by SCP-1315N who have also passed away approximately 1 week after having been, for lack of a better term, gently confronted by her. It is unclear exactly what SCP-1315N happens to be. Foundation contact with this creature has been extremely limited. When she does speak, she typically whispers, and in what some have mentioned as being a very angelic whisper, no conclusions will be made as to what SCP-1315N really is. Some have speculated that she may be an angel. However, we do not have any concrete evidence to support that. The earliest sighting of SCP-1315N was in the year 1888 in New York City. However, there are articles dating back much further. Basically, this is an SCP that we know very little about. Her motivation seems to be to comfort children and babies, especially those born in third world nations who are unwanted and sometimes go uncared for. She holds them, she comforts them, and then she disappears. Children and babies who have had medical conditions after one of her visits have been shown to be healthy. That is actually all the information we have. This is Dr. Sampson, signing off.